Welcome to this episode of Time to Watch. Today, we will be doing another 10-point comparison where we pit two watches up against each other. Each watch will be evaluated on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Each watch will be graded on the following points: brand heritage, brand history, brand recognition, build quality and premium materials, style and design, durability, performance and accuracy, size and weight, bezel action, luminescence, depth rating or water resistance, price and value. The watch with the highest score at the end is the winner. Today's heavyweight matchup will be an exclusive Timascus showdown. Germany versus China. The OG versus the homage. The H2O Kalmar, 2 deep diver 25,000 meters, watch versus the Steeldive SD1982Y 10-mile watch. 1. Brand heritage, history, brand recognition. The H2O Kalmar, 2 deep diver gets a 5 out of 10. H2O is a German micro-brand founded in 2011 by Clemens Hellberg. H2O has no watch building history or traditions. In their words, this is an advantage because it allows them to develop products according to the requirements of its customers. H2O brings fresh ideas, creative designs with exciting and exotic case and dial materials to the watch market. The most unique aspect of H2O is how they allow customers to select from a variety of customization options such as bezel, bezel insert, dial, crystal thickness, movement type, etc. This makes the watch even more unique and tailored to each individual customer. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets a 4 out of 10. Steeldive is a relatively new company that was founded sometime around 2018 in Guangdong, China. Steeldive has become a go-to brand for enthusiasts who want the look and specs of premium dive watches without the premium price. While not historically significant or innovative in design, Steeldive's value proposition and reliable parts like Seiko movements have made it a favorite in the budget and homage watch scene. They're often criticized for copying famous models too closely. 2. Build quality premium materials. The H2O Kalmar, 2 deep diver gets a perfect 10 out of 10. The watch case, bezel, crown, and case back are all Timascus. Titanium Damascus is an exotic material that's expensive and hard to craft. The case back has a nice engraving of the H2O Ocean Wave logo. The watch has a large crown that is 4 times sealed and screws down beautifully. It has a sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel insert, BGW9 lume, and a Swiss automatic movement. All of these premium materials is what gives this watch a perfect score in this category. The Steeldive gets an 8 out of 10. The Steeldive has a Timascus case, bezel, and crown. The case back is the only part that's not Timascus. It has a nice engraving though. The watch has a sapphire crystal, BGW9 lume, and a reliable Seiko movement. These premium materials are the reason it gets a solid 8. What keeps it from getting a higher score is the watch just feels a little unrefined or unfinished, like it was rushed. There are a few sharp edges on the case. The bezel action is light and the bezel has cutouts for the lume markers, but no lume is applied. 3. Style design. The H2O Kalmar, 2 deep diver gets a 10 out of 10. The watch design is very unique and is what I love about the watch. It's not just another Rolex copy, and it doesn't look like anything else on the market. The turbine bezel is very unique while giving the user plenty of grip to turn the bezel. The large hands make it easy to tell the time quickly. The dial is not cluttered with many words like most watches. It's a simplistic style that is elegant at the same time. The Timascus layers are bold, giving the layers a deep and vibrant color after the heat anodizing process. This involves taking a torch and heating the Timascus to extreme temperatures to bring out the colors. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets 8 out of 10. I love the design, but that's because it's a homage to the H2O Kalmar watches. Points were deducted for not being an original design. The Timascus on this watch has much thinner layers than the H2O watch. Per Steeldive's website, titanium Damascus is a specialized material created by combining titanium alloys with advanced surface modification techniques to mimic the distinctive wavy or mottled patterns of traditional Damascus steel. I'm not sure if they used a torch to bring out the colors, or if the advanced surface modification means they use some sort of electrical anodizing, as the colors are not as bright and vibrant as the H2O watch. For more info on electrical anodizing Timascus, I would recommend watching the Alec Steel video, where he uses both heat and electro-anodizing process on a Timascus axe. I will leave a link in the description. 4. Durability? The H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver gets a perfect 10 out of 10. This watch feels like it could handle years of abuse at sea. The leading factor that gives H2O the upper hand is the full titanium Damascus case, which will surely handle many years of saltwater adventures. The thick sapphire crystal and ceramic bezel will resist scratches. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets an 8 out of 10. This watch feels solid with the exception of the bezel. Like most watches made in China, the bezel action is a little light and has back play. I recently dropped the watch about 3 feet by accident and it held up nicely. Not a single ding or scratch was found. The Damascus case will do well in saltwater, and the thick sapphire crystal will resist scratches. 5. Performance accuracy? The H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver gets a 10 out of 10. This particular watch has the ETA2892 top grade movement, which is known for its reliability and solid performance. The beat rate is 28,800 vibrations per hour. The movement has a lift angle of 51 degrees and a current amplitude of around 200. The average rate of my H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver has been -2 to 3 seconds per day. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets an 8 out of 10. It has a reliable Seiko NH35 movement, but the accuracy does not compare to the Swiss movement in the H2O watch. The beat rate is 21,600 vibrations per hour. The movement has a lift angle of 53 degrees and a current amplitude of around 300. The accuracy ranges from -6 seconds per day to +14 seconds per day depending on the watch position. The average rate is usually 6 seconds slow per day. 6. Size weight. The H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver gets an 8 out of 10. This watch is considered large to most individuals. The overall dimension of the watch are as follows. Case width 42.50 mm, case width at the bezel 44 mm, case height is 22.85 mm, lug to lug is 53.50 mm, and the lug width is 24 mm. The weight of the watch case alone is 126 grams. I prefer this watch on an isofrane strap to keep the weight down. Overall, the size and weight is very good for a watch with 25,000 meters of water resistance. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets an 7 out of 10. This watch is also considered large to most individuals. The overall dimension of the watch are as follows. Case width 46.50 mm, case height is 22.6 mm, lug to lug is 56 mm, and the lug width is 24 mm. The weight is not listed on Steeldive's website, but it's heavier than the H2O Kalmar, most likely due to having a steel case back and slightly larger proportions. The Steeldive rubber strap helps to keep the weight down. 7. Bezel action. The H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver gets a 9 out of 10. The large turbine-style bezel is very solid with a very pleasing sound to the ears. The 120-click unidirectional bezel aligns perfectly and only turns when intended. This particular watch has no markers on the bezel insert, but H2O does offer the option. This stealth bezel insert was chosen as not to draw attention away from the Timascus case. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets a 5 out of 10. The 120-click unidirectional bezel action is smooth and has a somewhat pleasing sound. I found the bezel action to be a little light or loose with some backplay. It also doesn't align perfectly. It's odd that the bezel has cutouts for the markers but no luminous material on the bezel markers. This is the area that needs the most improvement. 8. Luminescence. The H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver gets a 9 out of 10. The watch has applied indices with BGW9 lume that is a pleasing blue appearance. It starts off bright but does not last as long as some watches. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets a 9 out of 10 also. The watch has applied indices with BGW9 lume that is a pleasing blue appearance. It is very close to the H2O watch, which is the reason they both get a 9 out of 10. 9. Depth rating water resistance. The H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver gets a perfect 10 out of 10. This watch has a rating of 25,000 meters, which is the world record for a mechanical watch. It was actually pressure tested in a water chamber in Germany to the point of failure to certify the rating. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets an 8 out of 10. The dial has 10 miles, but that's most likely because it's a homage to the H2O 10-mile watch. I cannot find any official test or certification verifying its water resistance. Based on the gaskets used, I think it could very well handle 300 to 1000 meters at most. The watch looks and feels like it could handle much more, but the lack of an official test keeps it from getting a higher score in this category. 10. Price value. The H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver gets a 9 out of 10. The watch as configured has a price around $2,200. This is a fair price for what all you get, but some people may shy away from spending this much on a micro-brand watch with little history. The Steeldive SD1982Y gets a 10 out of 10. As with most Steeldive watches, the cost is a fraction of the watch they are homage to. Just being able to get Timascus watch at such a low price is what gets this watch a 10 in this category. And finally, our conclusion to the winner of today's watch comparison. To no surprise, the H2O Kalmar 2 Deep Diver 25,000 meters watch is the winner with a total combined score of 90 out of 100. The Steeldive SD1982Y 10-mile homage watch gets a humbling 75 out of 100. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content in the future.